All right, well, hello everybody. Let's see, it's a pretty humid Saturday afternoon, and I'm in a wooded area that I frequent periodically, but I haven't actually been here in probably about a year, and I thought it was about high time that I come back out and see if I could find a decent composition. So here I am. Oh boy, it looks entirely different than it did the last time that I was here. As you can see, the foliage is pretty dense. It's very wooded. And right now, so I've got on mosquito repellent, but I'm battling mosquitoes and other insects that are swarming around me. So I'll do the best that I can. All right, today I thought that I would try and make this perhaps an abstract outing. I'm looking out here and I'm seeing a lot of potential possibilities, and I brought my macro lens along with me, so hopefully that will aid in finding some halfway decent compositions. Now, oh boy, I've got plenty of time. I've probably got about 4 hours, a little over 4 hours until sunset. But in this particular area, it's not really mattering too much. So, I've got a lot of possibilities because of the dense trees and the brush here. The light is pretty soft and even in this area. So, I'm thinking the lighting should be pretty good. I shouldn't have any harsh lighting, no really harsh shadows or anything like that. So I'm going to continue and search for my first composition, and hopefully I can find something that's worthy of sharing with you later on. So for right now, I'm going to continue and see what I can come up with. See, after a considerable amount of scouting around, I found my first composition. Oh boy, you can see this beautiful tree that's fallen over here. Now, this tree's been here for some time. I photographed in this general area probably about a year ago, and this tree was here. Of course, it didn't look quite like this about a year ago. It looks entirely different as the entire landscape has changed. But it looked like I've seen some pretty good possibilities here. All right, if you look right here in front of the camera, you can see you have some leaves and some small branches growing out here on the top. All right, you also have some very thick vines that have actually grown around the large portion of the tree itself, and you can see these here. And we also have a nice texture of bark on the trees. Now, I did say this was going to be pretty much an abstract day, but it looks like it's going to be somewhat a mixture of that. I rather like this composition. Okay, what I'm going to do is, since I'm at pretty close range here, I'm probably about 18 inches away from the tree itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 shots. Just to make sure that I have everything in focus. I'm stopped down to f-stop 16 to give me maximum depth of field. The first shot is going to be for the leaf right here. That's somewhat the furthest back. The second shot is going to be for this vine, this small vine that's grown around the tree. And the third shot is going to be on the tree itself, right on the bark. And stop down at f-stop 16. Those three exposures together should give me great depth of field, right from the foreground into the background. And of course, the background behind everything will be completely blurred. And I will go ahead and accentuate that even more in post-processing. Okay, so I'm going to get started and take my first shot. And I'll let you see exactly what I'm looking at here. All right, now my first focusing point is going to be for this little small leaf right here. All right, the second point of the focus will be right here for this vine that's actually going up the side of the tree. And my third focusing point will be about right here on the bark of the tree itself. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and focus on the branch. I'm sorry, the leaf. All right. And I'm manually focusing. All right, and that looks good right there. Now, a lot of the time on a shot like this, just for insurance, sometimes I like to go to autofocus. Because sometimes autofocus does a much better job than I could, and I think I will autofocus on this particular shot. Okay, now I'm autofocused. All right, and here's the first shot. Let me bring this up just a little bit. The shadows are kind of getting away from me just a bit. I think I'll go there, and that should be good. All right, and here's the first exposure. And I use mirror lockup as usual. All right. And there's the first exposure. All right, now my second focusing point is going to be for the vine that's growing around the tree. And I will just come down here. All right, and I will autofocus on that as well. Okay. And I will take the second shot. All right, same exposure. 1 and 1.3 seconds. F-stop 16, ISO 400. All right. And all right, and the focusing looks very good. That's very sharp. All right, and the last exposure is going to be taken for the tree bark right here. And pretty much the same exposure settings. All right, and there's shot number 3. All right, so far everything's looking good. Okay, now I'm going to move on to my next shot. Let's see, I've got my next composition set up. And as you can see, looking here, all right, there's a tree right here, and I have it framed up so the tree is actually going through the screen diagonally. Of course, I'm shooting this in a portrait orientation, and you can see it has little small vines that are growing around it. Now, off to the left, you can see there's a small growth here of leaves off to the side, and I thought that might make a relatively interesting shot once it's post-processed. All right, as with this one, I'm not going to take 3 shots, but I'll probably take 2. All right, the first one I've already focused for. It's going to be for the tree itself. All right, so now I'm going to take that first shot. Let me take a look at my histogram. Make sure everything is in order. Okay, and the histogram looks good. All right. And here's the first shot. All right. There's shot number 1. And that looks pretty good. All right, and here's the second shot. All right. Okay, now just for insurance, I'm going to take 1 more. I just want to make sure that everything within that plane is in focus, and that should definitely do it. Okay, you can see how I have the next composition set up. Okay, I am in portrait orientation once again, and you can see a portion of the tree coming right through the bottom of the frame. Now, this particular tree right here is actually the tree that I shot from the opposite side. So I decided to just swing around the other side. Now, from this position, you can actually see the tree that's actually behind it, which is branching backward, and it looks like it's forming a fork. Actually, it is a fork, actually, that the tree is lying between, as well as a very thick vine that's growing right across the tree that's lying horizontally. All right, and the exposure now is 1 second at f-stop 16, ISO 400. Shot number 1. All right, and that's looking pretty good. All right, I'm liking that. Now, as usual, I generally like to take maybe 3 shots just for insurance, but in this case, I think 2 shots will do nicely. There's my second focusing point, and the exposure is the same, 1 second, f-stop 16, ISO 400. All right. All right, that's 3 in the bag. All right. So far, I think this has turned out to be a relatively productive day of photography. I got 3 shots that I think are halfway decent. And but of course, only time will tell. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to comment, like, and if you'd like, please subscribe. All right, until next time.